Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper 1. I want to talk about a baler bucket. A baler bucket is used to get water out of a well. So in a worst case event, be it a nuclear war, be it an EMP, be it a grid down event, this is one piece of equipment that's almost guaranteed to get you water if there's water in a well. So what are you going to do? If you're on city water, this really is not going to do you any good. But if you're in an area where there's a lot of people that have wells, this is a must-have item in the sense that worst case, you can get water. Now let me explain a little bit. This right is built on a 4-inch piece of PVC. You can build these things. There's a million YouTube videos out there. All kinds of ways, really sophisticated ones, really simple ones. But the bottom line is, a piece of PVC pipe, it will have some type of flapper, some type of one-way valve in it. So when you put it down the well, it will let water into your 4-inch PVC. Now you can make a 2-inch one, a 3-inch one, a 4-inch one, it doesn't matter. But this one's a 4-inch one, and you get a couple gallons of water. If you make it taller, you get more water, but the problem is weight. You're gonna have to pull this up. If the water's close to the Earth's surface, it's no problem getting it up. So, this is 6-inch PVC pipe right here. So this is typical in my area. Now I know there's some places in the country, I think in Florida, that they put in 4-inch wells. So this wouldn't work in a 4-inch well. You'd have to have a 2-inch well. But this will only work if there's nothing in the way. Normally this piece would be sticking out of the ground this way. And there'll be a cap on it. There'll be some wires probably running out of it. There'll be some 1-inch pipe or 3/4-inch pipe. All that has to go to use this. So basically you're going to see some nuts on top. You're going to undo the nuts, try to pull the cap off, and then you got to pull the well or the pump out of the well. Because if you send this down, good chance it's going to get snagged on something. Most of the wells will have the pump at the very bottom, and there'll be at least wires running down there, and then from the bottom of the pump coming up, there's a piece of piping. It could be black, it could be galvanized, it could be PVC, and it could vary in anywhere from like 3/4 to an inch. That comes from the bottom of the well where the pump is set all the way up so it can go to your house. That has to get removed. Now, best case is to get a few people there, and you know it's a worst case event and there's no electricity and you got to get water out, is to take the cap off, loosen it, and then pull. It's heavy. You're going to need some guys with some strength to pull that out. You're going to pull it out and take it out completely. Then take it apart so you can put it back in, and just in case society comes back to normal. Don't damage anything. Now could be a worst case where you're by yourself and you got to get water. It's life or death. And you're not worried about damaging the well or the pump or anything in that realm. You could cut everything after you take the cap off and let it slam to the bottom. Hopefully it gets far enough down that when you drop this, it won't touch it. Best bet, pull it up, get it out of the way. So you have a full 6 inches to drop this in. Now, if your well is like in a well house or a building, that makes it better because you can put a pulley above your well. Let's pretend this is the well. You can put a pulley above it, hook this to it, and pull it up and down. Now normally you would want to have heavier string just for your hands to grip on it. You don't want to lose your baler bucket, so tie it really tight. If you don't know how to tie a knot, tie a lot. So many knots. So we've taken out our well, everything's good, we need to get water. So basically, you'll be standing right next to it typically. The well will be about this far off the ground where you're standing, somewhere in here, so it'd be very easy to drop your baler bucket. Don't let go of your string. You might, if you need to, is tie the string onto something, the end of it. So just in case you let go. You can hear it filling up. The bottom moved up, water filled up. So now I got to lift it up. It's going to be heavy. That's why you want a thicker string or thicker rope, so it's easier to pull up. So you're going to pull it up, pull it up. It's going to be pretty light while it's in the water, but as soon as you get it above the water, you can actually feel it. So you're going to pull it up, get it up. This design is one of the better designs because it has a plunger that's going to release your little flap on the bottom. As you can watch this. Your water fell out. A lot of them are designed not with that feature, so this is what you have to do. You got to grab Then you're going to tip and pour it out. But look what I just did. My dirty hands, especially in a grid down environment, had to touch this pipe. You have a chance of contaminating your well because you're going to drop it in again and again and again. So your best bet is something like this. This was manufactured years and years ago. I contacted the manufacturer. They would not return my phone call. I was going to give them a free plug. It looks like they're not making it. And I tried numerous times. No one returned the call, so I'm not even going to tell you who made this because I couldn't even find it for sale. I looked on the internet. The thing I found was from 2014, a Facebook post advertising these things with no additional posts. So I'm not going to tell you the name because it'll drive you crazy. And the company might be not wanting that business because they're out of business. So, drop it down. It's going to fill up with water. Lift it up. Put it over your thing. Pull your plunger. Drop it down. So, if this is on a pulley, this thing is really easy. And then just keep filling it up. Drop it down, pull it up. This is why, if you can help it, don't have to grab it. Because if you got to grab it and pour it out, you're just contaminating everything. So, there's a lot of YouTube videos out there. I'm not going to tell you every one of these little parts. They'll give you a parts list. You can make your own. It's called research. And make a baler bucket. Now you can make it smaller. You can make a 2-inch baler bucket. You can make a 3, a 4-inch. As long as you can get the water out, you can make this longer. The longer you make it, the more water you pull out, but also the heavier. But if you have a shed or a pump house, and you put a little tiny $10 pulley up there, run your string or rope through the pulley, you'll have no problems. Basically, it'll be down, pull it up. All you got to do is just barely touch it, move it over, release your water, boom, boom. And you can get a lot of water. You can get more than you're going to need. You can get water to water your garden. Yes, it's going to take time, but set up a pulley system. Because if not, this thing is very, very heavy. Now, they make different ones. They make some that are galvanized. So, I've seen them. I have no problems with the galvanized one. There's a lot of companies that sell them, and then they make one with PVC. So you can buy a commercially made one, or you can just make your own. They're so simple. If I can find some good explaining videos, I'll put that in the link. I think I know of one without really looking too hard, and then you can build your own. Now this is a worst case because you have to remove your pump. You got to remove everything that's in there because if you drop, you have to because you got to get the cap off, and it's hard to send that down without getting caught. Because if you send it down without doing that, it's going to get caught on something, and then you can't pull it up. Also, you need to take it up because a lot of times there's a thing called a torque arrestor. They can put a torque arrestor on that pipe so when your pump kicks on, it doesn't move. It's held in place properly for the pump safety and your wire safety. So you could hit some torque arrestors dropping it down. That's why it's recommended pull it out. When you do that, pulling it out, it's sort of a big commitment. So make sure this is a real grid down environment and not just a temporary emergency. Thanks for watching.